Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio, and if you've ever wanted to attack twice in the Pokemon trading card game, if you've ever attacked once and thought, well, that was nice, but I wouldn't mind another attack before my turn ended, this, ladies and gentlemen, this is the video for you. We've had not one, but two different Pokemon gone and been revealed that allow you to attack more than once during your turn, and that sounds like an awful lot of fun to me. Now, we do have a Pokemon V to talk about, but I actually want to start off talking about Jumpluff. Translations, all of these come from the lovely Antoine Boulet, but I don't actually want to start talking about Jumpluff. I want to start talking about Skiploom. Now look, we got 60 HP, that is absolute trash, garbage, terrible, but it can be searched out with Level Ball, although to be fair, it could have an extra 30 HP, it could have 50% more HP, and still be searched with Level Ball, but I don't think that's the point. Free Retreat is also a really nice bonus, but nobody cares, because you shouldn't have many of these on the field anyway. The reason why we have to start with Skiploom is because of the rather redonkulous ability, Solar Evolution, although this is another card where the artwork is phenomenal. It reads, once during your turn, when you attach an energy from your hand to this Pokemon, you may search your deck for a card that evolves from this Pokemon and put it onto this Pokemon to evolve it. Yep, we've got cheating evolution. Skiploom is allowing us to cheat evolution, and that is kind of ridiculous. And let's not forget that the last Skiploom we had let you cheat evolution. That was one from Lost Thunder that said once during your turn you could search your deck for a Jumpluff and then play Skiploom and all cards attached to it into the Lost Zone and put Jumpluff down, because that was a deck where you wanted cards in the Lost Zone. So apparently this is like Skiploom's thing nowadays, that it just lets you cheat evolution. So I'm going to attack twice and I'm cheating evolution. That seems pretty gosh darn good to me. So yeah, we kind of needed to start with Skiploom here for a little bit of context, because it basically turns Jumpluff into a stage 1, not a stage 2. Yeah, fine, you got to evolve twice, but turn 1 you got your Hoppip. Turn 2, you evolve into Skiploom, attach an energy, search for Jumpluff, boom, you've got a turn 2 Jumpluff. It's not a stage 1, it's a stage 2, but it might as well be a stage 1. Now, couple of quick side notes here, it is attaching from your hand. So if you were to use something like Rillaboom to accelerate energy from your deck, you would not be able to evolve here. But if you use Cherrim to accelerate energy, and you single energy here with Jumpluffs, I'm not sure why you would, but if you did, yes, Cherrim allows you to attach from your hand, so if you attach multiple energy with Cherrim, you can evolve multiple Skiploom in the same turn, which I think is kind of cool. Moving over to Jumpluff then, we've only got one attack, but that's fine, we only want one attack. But first we need to worry about the ability. This Pokemon can attack twice per turn, which shouldn't really be a surprise. I opened this video telling you we're going to be talking about Pokemon that can attack twice. Although to be fair, Medicham's a bit more than that, we'll get there in a moment. So what we've got here is literally you can just attack twice. And if your opponent's active Pokemon was KO'd by the first attack, they choose their new active Pokemon before the second attack. I.e., your opponent doesn't get to go, ha ha ha, you've taken a KO, there's no active Pokemon, you can't attack, now it's my turn. Your opponent has to put a new Pokemon active, knowing that you can attack. Now, as a side note, I'm fairly sure the ruling is that essentially you enter the attack phase, so that means you would have to keep going here and attack twice in quick succession, which is fine. That works quite nicely. Now, that's clearly ridiculous. Clearly ridiculous. If you can take a KO on a little Pokemon, you can maybe take 2 KOs in one go. You can do an awful lot of things, to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, this is kind of ridiculous. But it's not actually as simple as it sounds, because one of the cards that, and I know I am not the only person that jumped straight to this, but the gloves, specifically Gloves of Justice. You can see that the only attack is 1 energy, 60 damage. It's not great. But Justified Gloves, the attacks that a Pokemon this card is attached to do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Darkness Pokemon. So against a Darkness Pokemon, you're not doing 60, you're doing 90. Oh look, it's a 2-hit KO on a Crobat, but it's not a 2-hit KO on a Crobat, because you're attacking twice in a row, so, okay fine, it is a 2-hit KO on a Crobat, but you get to do both those hits at once. Or take something like an Umbreon, even an Umbreon V Max. You're hitting for 90, with weakness is 180, hit twice is 360, and oh look, you've gone in a KO on Umbreon V Max here. And to be fair, you could repeat this trick with other things as well. So you could grab something like Gardening Gloves, for instance, and that would let you do 90 damage to a grass Pokemon. And I'm assuming you can all guess where I'm going with this. It's Kricketune. Kricketune is a grass Pokemon that is going to see a bunch of play, gives up 2 prizes, has 180 HP. So with the gloves, you go up to 90, and okay, fine, 180 isn't enough to get a one-hit KO on a huge amount. But because you can get things like Crobat and Kricketune, it becomes way more relevant. And this is awesome. Also, I got so excited about moving on to Jumpluff, I didn't mention, it also has 90 HP, so can be searched with Level Ball. And it also has free retreat, which is awesome. The thing is, one of the ways we can get excited about Jumpluff is we can just go, right, let's use the gloves. But let's not forget, it has one attack is actually slightly disingenuous. Because, of course, it's a Rapid Strike Pokemon. Now, the fact that it's a Rapid Strike Pokemon is largely irrelevant. A lot of the tricks we really want, we're just not going to be too worried about. But one of the things that makes it really quite relevant is the fact that we've got those tool cards, which will give us extra attacks. So over in Battle Styles, we had Rapid Strike Scroll of Swirls, Fighting Double Colorless 30 to each of your opponent's Pokemon. That seems pretty good. And in Chilling Reign, we're getting Rapid Strike Scroll of the Skies, Lightning Colorless, 10 damage, plus 50 more for each energy attached to your opponent's active, which is great for punishing Pokemon with lots of energy. Do remember that although this is a 2-energy attack on a Rapid Strike Pokemon, you cannot use Rapid Strike Energy, because that only provides water and fighting, and this needs a Lightning. So these aren't easy attacks to use, they're a bit awkward, and you've got 90 HP, so the reality is you're going to attack twice and then you're going to get KO'd. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't care. Because the fact of the matter is, this is a very, very nice Pokemon that can attack twice, and you can either use your little attack or you can use some of these tool cards. And I think there is a lot of potential here. When you combine it with the cheating evolution of Skiploom, I'm giving it 4 Wassies. And the only reason it sticks at 4 is because I don't think you've got a phenomenal attack. But you can attack twice. Having a phenomenal attack would be unfair. But I promised you another Pokemon that can attack twice. How about Medicham? Now, Medicham comes in with 210 HP, which is fine for a Pokemon V. Retreat cost of 2, which is fine. I mean, I kind of contractually obligated at this stage to mention Air Balloon. And a weakness to Psychic, which is alright. Yeah, should be alright post-rotation. And you are a fighting Pokemon, which means hitting weakness against stuff like Crobat, Eternatus, etc., which is a very good thing indeed. And what we have here are a couple of attacks. Now, the second attack we're going to deal with quite quickly. Free energy, 100 damage, not affected by resistance. And the not affected by resistance is actually kind of big, because nowadays your psychic Pokemon tend to have a resistance to fighting. And Pokemon that are flying and end up coming into the TCG often have a resistance to fighting. So there are a bunch of Pokemon you will be hitting through resistance here, which is nice. But it's free energy, it's fighting, it is Rapid Strike incidentally, so you can use Rapid Strike energy to make it a bit easier. It's fine, but it is in no way, shape or form the reason we are getting excited about Medicham. The reason we're getting excited about Medicham is Yoga Loop. Place 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. Now look, that's trash garbage. 2 energy for 2 damage counters. Mew from Unbroken Bonds will drop 3 damage counters for 1 energy. But, and then here's the real kicker, right? If you KO a Pokemon using this attack, take an extra turn. Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. Now, you can't use this attack if any of your Pokemon use Yoga Loop during your last turn, obviously. Otherwise, you could set up a board state where you could take 3 or 4 turns in a row, and it would be just unfairly, unfunnily broken. But the reality is you can take 2 turns in a row with this, and this is absolutely redonkulously good. I mean, the last time we saw a Pokemon that could take 2 turns in a row was Dialga. And this is one that we all got very excited about at the time. And, well, that excitement faded away somewhat quickly. It was either in Forbidden Light as a Metal Pokemon or in Ultra Prism as a Dragon Pokemon. You can take your pick. And it did 150 damage, but it was a GX attack and it took 5 energy, and 150 wasn't really enough to get big KOs, and frankly, it never ended up being good enough. It had a lot of potential, but we never actually really played with it. This, however, I feel a bit differently about. And look, this isn't an easy thing to get rolling. You're not going to be just using this 17 times a game to take a bunch of extra turns. But if you were able to do that, this would be a very badly designed card that would ruin the game. We don't want to actually do that. However, what you do here is you just use it as a little bit of a cheat. And here's the thing. It's a Rapid Strike Pokemon that uses 2 energy. And if you're playing a Rapid Strike deck, you're going to be using Rapid Strike energy. So, quite frankly, if you are ever playing 4 Rapid Strike energy in a deck, and you don't put one of these dudes in, why? Or I suppose why not might be more accurate. Because literally any time, your opponent ends up with a Pokemon with 1 or 2 damage counters until it's KO'd, this becomes the best option. Because essentially, what you end up doing is you just use one of your Rapid Strike energy, take a KO extra turn. And look, the KO isn't huge because it's a KO that any of your Pokemon could have taken. But essentially, next turn, get this out the active and use whatever Pokemon you actually want to use, and you've still got your attack. Except you've got a KO and any supporter cards, yeah, you get to use 2 of them. You get to use 2 supporter cards. So if it's one of those situations where you really need to use a Professor's Research to find a boss's orders, do it. Use Professor's Research, attack with this, take the KO, and then next turn you can use boss's orders and attack with who you actually want to attack with. All of those abilities that are limited to once during your turn are still limited to once during your turn, but now you get to use them twice. So something like an Octillery, for instance, which is going to be loved in Rapid Strike decks. Sure, you can only search 1 card per turn of Octillery, but you're getting 2 turns. So you're going to be able to search out 2 cards. And that's my point here. I don't think you're going to have a Medicham deck, because you're only dropping 2 damage counters. Trying to set this up as its own thing is going to be super hyper awkward. And then if your opponent has any kind of healing, etc., it's just going to get super annoying. The way I see Medicham working is I am literally going to put one of these in every single Rapid Strike deck I ever make until this rotates out. Or maybe until Rapid Strike Energy rotates out and it's not so easy. Because basically, single energy, basic Pokemon, so it could not be better in terms of a surprise, unless it was free, but that's unrealistic. And now I'm taking a KO, and then I get back to my regular turn, to my regular attacks, except I've been able to use 2 supporters. I've been able to retreat twice. I've been able to use my once per turn abilities twice, etc. I think this is phenomenal. I'm giving it 5 Wassies. And I'm not giving it 5 Wassies because I think everyone is going to go and play a Medicham deck. I really don't think many people at all are ever going to play, or at least do well, with a Medicham deck. But I absolutely believe that there are going to be a whole bunch of games played with Rapid Strike decks that are won because of Medicham. And I think if you are ever playing against a Rapid Strike deck and you do not know for a fact that they don't have access to Medicham, either they're not playing it or it's already hit the discard and they can't recover it, etc., you are going to have to play the entire game knowing that Medicham is a threat. This is a game-winning attack, and I absolutely adore it. Yeah, this one's kind of phenomenal. But I want to know what you think about this and about Jumpluff. Rapid Strike Pokemon are cheating a lot today, and I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of into it. It's fun to talk about. But tell me what you think about it in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.